Well, hello and welcome to a very special episode of Loudspring To Go. This is Joshua Burguete-Kirkman, the Communications Director for Loudspring, and I'm sitting here in a very sunny and beautiful Santiago. I was in the region for a little bit of a surf adventure, non-work related, but when I'm here I always try to do some kind of work-related activity, and that is meeting up with you, Andro Lindsay from Solarix, the partner for Nuuka and Watty here in South America. For the viewer, Andro, I thought it would be really cool just to remind them exactly about what it is that Solarix does, and yeah, how the relationship has worked with Watty and Nuuka.
Yeah, well, we, as you said, we in Solarix, we are aiming to push a bit the transition to Chile to a more sustainable future. Yeah, and we do it mixing the generation and the consumption part. So we are aiming to make the generation part more sustainable using solar and using energy efficiency, cutting-edge technology, making the consumption also smarter. And when we match both curves, right, we can make it even smarter.
Okay. So that's chips now. So Watty, you've had a slightly longer relationship with. How have things been going there, and what's the current situation there for you? With
we have been with Watty since the beginning of last year. So we have been testing the technology here. There is a new batch of new product coming. With the new technology. The new software is going to be released now. So we are waiting for it in order to get to test it with our customers. So we have some key customers, some key partners that can make the demand for Watty to explode in residential market. Yes.
Okay, well that's really cool. So regarding Nuuka is a more kind of recent development or partnership, you could say. I know that you were over in the Sexy Truth event last year and meeting with everyone then. What is happening there with Nuuka for you on the ground? And how is that going?
Well, we are very excited about that because Nuuka it's covering all the other segments, which is all the commercial market and industrial market. So we are doing a lot of PV photovoltaic projects there, but we were not comfortable neither with just providing smart generation, right? With sustainable generation. So we wanted to understand the consumption curve and to make it way smarter and to manage it and to make all the energy efficiency way better. Nuuka is just aiming to that, so it's a perfect match. So we have been including Nuuka actually as added value to all our projects, which has been really interesting and also have been a challenge, because basically in Chile all the licitations and the requests from the customer are actually aiming just to photovoltaic. So you say, we are doing photovoltaic, but even more, we are doing something with more added value that we provide like a much longer benefit for us.
So what are some of the industries? I mean, I was on a site visit with you yesterday or the day before in Chile, in Santiago, and that was really quite mind-blowing. But before we get to that one, what are some of the industries, because there's some quite interesting ones that I don't think that the listener or viewer has kind of heard for the context of Nuuka. So what have you been pitching Nuuka to here in Chile? For example, beside the typical office building, which is a smart building, and this is kind of like by default, we have been doing some project with a bank. So we are still negotiating, but particularly this project is pretty interesting because we added some gamification on the proposal. Meaning that the bank it's aiming to be more sustainable for the public, right? As a marketing tool, but also from the interior, so for all the employees. And in order to do that, they want to do some kind of game, making branches to compete among themselves. For sustainability.
To have like after being Nuuka implemented, to have like a big screen, right? And competing which branches is actually aiming better the
so like a leaderboard or between different branches.
Exactly, and of course that let's say that metrics could be like match or align with bonuses or with the incentive of the people, for sure. So
that's really
every single line.
That's cool, because that's I mean, one of the things that Nuuka talks about a lot is like putting the building in the hands of the users. So this is quite a literal and fun way to do that. So so that's with a bank in Chile that has a bunch of branches, obviously, by the sounds of things. And what else? There's a few other kind of projects that you're looking at.
We are working at a retail company.
Yeah.
So there is a couple of big retail store here.
Yeah.
I cannot mention the name yet,
Yeah,
but it's one of the big. Well, basically they have stores in every single city in Chile.
And then also the really interesting one, which is quite a tasty treat, is vineyards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So explain that. What's going on there?
Well, we all particularly love that project for I don't know, some personal reasons maybe.
There's a lot of upside on that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, we told them that part of the project could be paid on wine in bottles on the long term.
There you go.
Yeah, particularly binaries, which is a big industry here, and basically most of the production here is going to Europe actually.
Yeah, sure.
So and it's very good quality or a very good price. The ratio actually price quality is pretty good in Chile.
Yeah.
The consumption in energy is huge, and the consumption of water is huge as well.
Okay.
And there is some very particular metrics that you have to control very good. Not just because of the energy efficiency point of view and money point of view, also because of the outcome of the final product, which basically are temperature and humidity.
Yeah.
So here it has a very the added value is going even further. Just the sustainability and just the saving itself is going in the way that it's going to provide a much better product, because it's going to ensure the quality of all the process during the aging and the preparation of this elixir. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I understand that many of these, you explained to me one of the sites you looked at, it was actually quite manually controlled.
Yes, for example, after you put the wine to age in the barrel, you have to control the temperature and in all the process and humidity in some of them. But basically one of the key parts is when you put the wine on the barrels, on, let's say an oak barrel, right?
Yeah.
If the humidity must be above 80%.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the wine, the barrels are like perspirating, right? And the wine start like evaporating. So you don't want that, right?
No.
And the temperature should be like below 15 degrees, 14 degrees.
Sure.
So that's very key.
Yeah.
In that way, you make the process like the wine start aging and start getting all the flavor and the aromas from the wood, but without losing the material and without spoiling it. So that's key. That's key. And
super interesting.
And when you face more, like we have been talking with a couple of them, actually 4 or 5 vineyards, and we have a very like advanced negotiation with 2 of them. One of them is very big, and actually all the big tank where you actually prepare the wine the first stage, which are like stainless steel huge tank, are like outside. Oh. So to control the temperature, you use a lot of energy and use a lot of water also. Yeah, right. And when the temperature rise in summer, for example, basically you are just spraying water to the tanks, making it very inefficient.
Yeah,
right?
Sure. Okay, so and the last one that I actually was very privileged to visit with you on Friday here in Santiago was a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you can about that and the stage of negotiation or wherever things are at there?
Yeah. Well, they call us directly because of solar, right?
Yeah.
So they have huge need of energy.
Yeah.
They are also part of an international very big group.
Yeah.
So the goals here in Chile and the goals from the group worldwide is actually to be more sustainable.
Sure.
The amount of energy they use is huge. It's above 600 gigawatt hour per month, so it's a huge amount of energy.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of roof, so we are providing a pretty good solution for solar generation for them.
The solar that you're offering on the rooftop.
That's by default.
And then where does Nuuka fit into your kind of?
Because the amount of energy they use in all the processes.
Yeah.
Basically in refrigeration and climatization itself, it's a lot. So. With solar, we can just cover parts of to make the process a bit more sustainable, partially, because of that consumption and because it's a lot of roof. But anyway, we are aiming to 10 to 20%, no more. With Nuuka, we can actually provide 10 or 20 or even more % of more sustainable process just by adding improving the process from the inside. Yeah. So they didn't count on that, so we pitched to them. They found it really interesting. Yeah. We are the only one offering a solution like that in Chile. Yep. So I think we have pretty good chances to get that.
With you're finding, it's interesting, it's an insight I guess, that people are asking you for solar, and then you're answering with solar plus
added value with equal Nuuka, yes.
How are they reacting to some of these added values in this market in particular? Because we discussed a few challenges around that. Yes,
we have like a mixed feeling in there because first of all, it's like wow effect, right?
Yeah,
so they love it, love it. But then since energy efficiency here, it was like in the early stages yet.
Yeah.
So it was more like talking about like the isolation of the roof, I mean the walls, the double glazing the windows, the LED lighting, right? And right now it's kind of like by default, but 10 years ago it wasn't.
Yeah.
But then when you go to this like very cutting edge technology, some of them they are a bit skeptical still.
Yeah,
so, okay, how much it's gonna cost? When I'm going to like get the payback of the investment? Which successful cases do you have around? Right. So we have a couple hundred successful cases over there in Europe, but they want more here. So basically, this is one like chicken of the egg, typical paradox. But also we have a cultural problem because in Europe, usually when one European company tells another European company, well, we are going to save you 10%, usually they believe each other, right?
Exactly.
But unfortunately, part of the cultural thing in Latin America is that has been spoiled a bit. So usually there is not a lot of trust at that stage. So sure.
So there's a trust.
Let's prove it.
There's a trust barrier for some of these claims of energy efficiency.
There is a trust barrier when there is something very new, and that is actually as good as Nuuka, which is that good. That is kind of difficult hard to believe at the beginning. Yes.
Do some of these reference cases for Nuuka, though, more recently, I'm referring to the Unilever building in the US, and there's also some other good ones. Eco Real Estate using it in there. Some of their shops and assets now in Sweden. Do these references help you out?
Totally, because those are names that they are well known here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so Unilever, for example, is a very well known name. So perfect. Yeah. So Prisma also very good example. Not very well known here, but it's pretty easy to match with a big chain of supermarkets here. Exactly. So definitely, all those big successful cases are actually helping.
Good to know. Yeah. Okay, well then I guess we'll stay tuned, and we'll what do we do in Latin America? Do we cross our fingers for
we'll cross our fingers.
Okay, well then we'll do that and hope that that you can land a couple of these customers that you're talking to now. I mean, I'm sure there's the vineyards sound very good to me, but the others are obviously very good as well. So look, thanks for the very warm hospitality as well in my stay here, and it's always a pleasure catching up and seeing how I can at least help a little bit out whilst I'm here, and for all of the viewers out there, stay tuned to what Solarix does. This guy's kind of like a pretty busy man on Twitter if you want to follow Solarix and keep up to date with some of his pretty cool communications ideas and approaches. That's all for me for Loudspring To Go, so thank you for sitting down with me. We'll see you in the Sexy Truth.
Yes, for sure, November, right?
Great.
We're going to
November,
be there.
December.
November, December, yes, in the middle, yes.
Around Slush.
Around Slush, yes.
Yeah, cool.
For sure, we're going to see each other there.
Okay.
No, it's always a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, thanks.
And always a pleasure to be in contact with all the team there. It's,
great.
Has been an amazing adventure, and we have a really bright future, right?
Excellent.
Good.
Let's leave it there. That's Loudspring To Go.